today.
Yeah. Hi everybody, hope you're all well. Thanks ever so much for coming on to this and looking at the 4th episode of Lockdown Chatter. So I'm joined today by Lucinda Holt of Peacock Digital. It's someone I've worked with. And Lucinda offers advice. And well, I'll tell you what, Lucinda, you introduce yourself and you tell everybody what you're about and what you do.
Hi, Michael. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name's Lucinda and I have a social media consultancy called Peacock Social, and I help businesses with their social media. So it may be via social media management where I take over their accounts. I offer one-to-one training. I do social media workshops. It really depends on the client's needs.
And how long have you been set up, Lucinda? How long have you been working in your business for?
I've been working in social media for about 3 years now as a freelance. I've got my own business. I'm based in Preston. I work at a co-working space called Society One, which is amazing. And prior to working in social media, I worked in advertising and marketing for 20 years. So I started out in TV and then magazines, and I've worked in all different areas of advertising and media. And then I realised that the digital marketplace is growing. It's where all the media spend is going. And I thought it was a really interesting concept, a really new concept to actually be able to directly engage with your customers and speak to your customers. So I thought, right, I need to know about this. So I upskilled and now I'm a social media, I wouldn't say specialist because it changes every day. I don't think anyone can call themselves a specialist in social media because it literally changes daily, but that's what I live and breathe at the moment.
Okay, yeah, it's very, very fluid, as you say.
Yeah.
Because obviously, a lot of people are at home now, perhaps more than they've ever been. How has that kind of changed the outlook or the landscape for what can happen on social media and kind of reach of posts and all that kind of stuff?
Well, I think social media is peaking during this time. A lot of people are online looking what's happening in their community, obviously looking at the news, connecting with their family and friends. And I would advise any business not to just completely disappear during this period. Make sure that you do have a presence, even if it's just a light touch here and there. I wouldn't disappear totally. I would adapt your messaging to the current situation. Obviously, it's a very sensitive time, and it's new territory that we're all kind of faced with at the moment. And in terms of content, I think there's lots of exciting things happening in the communities. There's so much warmth that's happening during this time. So it would be to capture what's happening in your industry, what's happening within your community, and to really kind of support people during this time. And from a business point of view, you can use this time to offer a bit of advice, talk about your business highs as well. I think it's always a good time to celebrate positive things that have happened, not just to your community, but to yourself as well as a business. So you can do that in a humble way by looking back at historic events or your birthdays, or it really depends on your business, but you can also look back at the good times and share those, and people that connect with you online will enjoy sharing those times again with you.
Yeah, and I think kind of leading on from what you said there, perhaps sort of this is my opinion anyway, a too outwardly sort of sales message is probably not that it's not appropriate, but it probably won't resonate in the same way as what you said there about community, because it seems to me, and it feels like to me, that communities are becoming more intertwined and more connected, even though our kind of physical connection with one another is less than ever. So I think that's a really good point you've made there. What types of clients do you tend to work with?
I predominantly work within the property sector. So I work with property developers, estate agents, architects, interior designers, and through that, I've obviously got quite a lot of experience now in terms of how to really connect online with that kind of sector. And I've got quite a few learnings there, which have been very interesting. Instagram has been something that has been very useful for some clients in driving sales leads and and viewings, brochure requests, helping promote events. As we both know, we've worked on some together, and it really just helps spread word of mouth about things that are happening locally.
Definitely, and to kind of validate what you've said, I think we've done at least two sales on the project we've worked on together that have come directly from the stuff that you've been doing on Instagram. So it's definitely a big validation there that perhaps not right now, but previously and moving forward, those kind of things definitely are going to be working for businesses, because it's a place where a lot of people have or don't have time but spend a lot of time on social media. What could you give us some top sort of maybe 2 or 3 top tips of things that people might be able to implement quite simply on their social media accounts, or just things that perhaps people aren't aware of that you could give them some insight on?
Yeah, I think one thing we talked about is to actually, you can go back and analyze your social media activity, and Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they have free analysis tools that you can use, and often they're built into your phone as well. So with Instagram, you can go on something called Instagram Insights. You can look when your audience is online, so that gives you an indication of the best time to post. You can look where your audience live. You can look at various different things and which posts have performed well, which ones didn't perform so well. And you can also look at, sometimes people don't actually like or comment on a post, but they actually engage with it. And that's really interesting to see. Sometimes people don't openly engage, but behind the scenes, a tweet that you may have thought, oh gosh, it didn't do so well, when you look behind the scenes, actually people have gone on and they've looked at the website link, and so yeah, it's quite interesting to look behind the scenes. Another tip would be to always be kind, always like and comment on other accounts. Don't just always share content from your account, because if you're not engaging with other businesses and people and organizations, the whole algorithm doesn't really kind of work. So as I always say, the golden rule is 50% of your time should be sharing your own content, and then the other 50% of your time should be engaging with other accounts by liking, commenting, engaging with conversation. And the reason it's called social media is because the social media platforms want us to talk, they want us to chat, they want us to engage and what have you. So that's something that it's a no-brainer really, but a lot of businesses may fall into the trap of just constantly pumping out their own content. And I think because it is such a new way of connecting with customers and clients, people do use it as a broadcast medium. So this is something that I'll always say at the start of any training session. It's not like a print campaign where you submit a print ad and then send that out. It's got to be something that's engaging. You're asking a question. You've got to always encourage interaction. And you've got to be social. You've got to talk about other things. You can't always talk about your own business. It may be, depending on your target audience, you've got to talk about something that's a little bit different to engage with them. And sorry, I'm probably waffling on a bit here.
No, carry on.
Always treat social media like if someone was walking into your shop, or you were welcoming someone into your building and having a business meeting, you would naturally just talk about the weather or the football results or something that you know is going to interest the person that you're meeting with on that day. And you've got to treat social media in the same way and have those kind of conversations still online, and always reply to any comment that you receive. Because if you don't reply to the comments, it's like someone has phoned you up or has come into your shop and asked you a question. And if you don't actually respond, it's a bit rude. So not only does it help the algorithm, it's just social media etiquette to respond to those comments and like and engage.
In a way, then, it's, as you're kind of saying, it's a good way of building rapport with people before you've kind of met them, but you need to be delicate in the way that you do that. You can't sort of you got to try and balance the messages, I guess. It can't just be
Yes.
sales, sales, sales. Maybe it's value, 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 and then a sales message. Is that kind of how you'd probably get the most engagement?
Yeah, I think it depends on the business.
Okay.
I think some businesses you can be a bit more salesy, so sometimes it's a little bit easier maybe for your food and drink. So people genuinely love seeing pictures of food or nice cocktails. And I think some businesses it's easier to engage than others, but you can still always find a way around it and an angle that's relevant. And I think you've got to make sure that who you're talking to and who your customers are and the social engagement and the non-sales stuff has got to relate to them.
Yeah, I mean that's a really interesting way to look at it, to try and get in the mindset of your potential customer before you put anything out there.
And I'd always say to avoid having a moan, having a rant, avoid negativity, save that for your personal accounts or conversations with friends and family, and anything political. And obviously it's a very emotional subject, but again, I'd always try and save that for personal accounts, because you just want to keep your own social media business feeds positive and non-ranty. But not everybody follows that. It's each to their own, but that would be my advice.
Brilliant. Well, that's been great. There's some real great nuggets of value in there for the people that are going to come on and watch this. Listen, if people want to talk to you further, how can they get in touch with you?
They can send me an email or give me a call. I always like, even though I'm a digital person, I love talking over the phone. I love video calls. We could have a little Zoom chat. That's very popular at the moment. So yeah, that'd be the best way.
Brilliant. Well, if anyone wants to get in contact, just let me know and I'll put you in touch with you. So listen, that's been great. Thanks ever so much for your insight into social media, and have a good day.
That's great. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
Enjoy the sun. Cheers. Bye.